Not always. When we are living through our worst moments, do we remember the strength that exists within us? And it is in this forgetting that sadness grows, making it seem as if all your effort, all your victories, and all your resilience never existed. But Stoicism reminds us of a powerful truth. No pain is greater than the power of your mind. Sadness is not a fixed destination. It can be traversed. Anxiety is not eternal. It can be transformed into clarity. And it all begins when you decide to care for your inner world. When you learn to remain calm in the face of problems, the problems still exist, but they cease to control your life. They stop occupying the entire stage and become merely one part of your story. You were not born fragile. That feeling of weakness was built over time through disappointments, broken expectations, days when nothing seemed to make sense. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "The soul is dyed with the color of its thoughts." If you immerse yourself in negativity, everything around you darkens. But when you choose to care for yourself, you open space for balance, hope, and inner strength. And that is exactly what I want to share with you today. 10 Stoic practices, simple yet profound, to protect your emotional health and prevent sadness from dominating your life. It doesn't matter how long you've been carrying this weight, you can reclaim control. And you can begin right now. Write in the comments, "Today I choose to care for my mind. I am Stoic." Before we begin the first lesson, I only ask you 2 things. Like this video and subscribe to the channel. Now, let's begin. 1. Be your own best friend. Many times it's not the world that breaks us, it's the way we speak to ourselves. Have you noticed? Sometimes no one has said a word, but inside your mind, a voice begins, "You're useless. You messed up again. Nobody likes you." And suddenly, the day becomes heavier, even before it begins. Cleanthes, one of the earliest Stoics, saw a man insulting himself and stopped him, saying, "Remember, you're not speaking to a bad person. Be kinder to yourself." This phrase is not a motivational slogan, it's a warning, a brake on the machine of self-estimation destruction that many of us turn on without realizing it, because constant self-criticism doesn't correct anything, it only paralyzes. You don't make fewer mistakes by insulting yourself more, you only end up more tired, more indecisive, more distant from trying again. There's a pattern. Every time something fails, an internal prosecutor appears, ready to condemn, while the internal ally who should defend you remains silent. This becomes a habit. The brain learns that every stumble is a crime, and every beginning can turn into humiliation. That's why you procrastinate, avoid difficult conversations, hide. It's not laziness. It's fear of being condemned by yourself. Stoic philosophy doesn't romanticize this process. It offers a counterweight: attention, language, and action. Attention. Notice when your mind initiates the attack. Language. Interrupt the automatic sentence. Action. Rebuild trust with small, consistent steps. Kindness begins with how we treat ourselves, recognizing our own humanity. It's not about lying to yourself, not about filling your head with excuses. It's about knowing you make mistakes, but you also learn. You fall, but you rise again with greater awareness. Try this Stoic exercise. Instead of thinking, "Nobody likes me," say, "Maybe not everyone likes me, but there are people who care about me." Instead of repeating, "I ruined it again," say, "I made a mistake, but I have the chance to correct it and improve." Do you notice the difference? This isn't self-deception. It's choosing a perspective that generates movement, because when you change your internal dialogue, you recover energy to act, instead of staying paralyzed. That's the key. If you don't treat yourself as an ally, you end up living as your own enemy. Seneca reminded us, "Whoever is a friend to themselves is never alone." And this isn't just poetic, it's psychological survival, because true loneliness isn't being without people, it's being without shelter within yourself. Being your own friend means building a safe place to return to when the world fails you. It's having a voice that, in your falls, doesn't step on you, but extends a hand, reminds you of your worth and says, "Get up. It's still possible." Someone who makes peace with themselves doesn't walk unharmed, but they walk accompanied. And that companionship changes the quality of every decision. That simple adjustment, replacing self-criticism with encouragement, can transform your routine into a field of trust. If you apply this, you won't wake up enlightened, but you will wake up less armed against yourself, and that already changes everything. Because courage isn't born from punishment, it's born from support. When your inner voice stops pushing you down and starts holding you up, you try more, fail better, learn faster, and quietly, you begin to trust yourself again. If this lesson resonated with you, write in the comments, "Today, I choose to be my own best friend." That is a public commitment to a new way of living from within. And when your inner house becomes habitable, the outside world no longer seems so hostile. The voice that accompanies you most is yours. Start treating it well. 2. Focus on yourself. Have you noticed how easy it is to lose yourself staring at other people's lives? Fulano bought a new car. So-and-so has the perfect body. That influencer seems happy every single day. And suddenly, without realizing it, you're no longer living your life. You're trying to follow a race that never even began for you. Seneca called this euthymia, the tranquility of someone who follows their own path, undistracted by what doesn't matter. He said we only reach our destination with discipline, clarity, and the confidence that we are fulfilling the role life placed in our hands. Think of this image. You're driving on a highway full of traffic. If you spend all your time looking at the cars around you, you'll get lost, changing lanes every minute, risking an accident. But if you keep your gaze fixed on the road ahead, your destination, you arrive safely. Life works the same way. Those who live comparing lose their direction. Those who keep their eyes on their own path move forward in peace. Marcus Aurelius reinforced this in his Meditations. Don't waste the rest of your life thinking about others' lives unless it serves the common good. Otherwise, you are neglecting the guard of your own soul. It's harsh, but real. Every minute spent in comparison is a minute stolen from your growth. Think of the time you've already lost scrolling through feeds, staring at photos of travels or achievements of others. 10, 20, 30 minutes of comparison that could have been used to read a page of a book, take a step toward a project, or simply rest your mind. The price isn't what the other person has. It's what you failed to build in yourself. Today's Stoic practice. Whenever you notice comparison taking hold, ask yourself, is this thought helping my growth, or is it just distracting me from my life? If it's distraction, redirect your gaze to your own path. Read a page of a good book. Take a step in your project. Do something that nourishes your mind or strengthens your body. Constant comparison is a silent trap. It steals joy, breeds anxiety, and spreads the feeling that nothing is ever enough. But when you understand that every person has their own route, their own timing, their own invisible challenges, the weight lifts. You find lightness and strength to walk firmly at your own pace. Seneca reminded us, true peace is not in arriving before everyone else, but in arriving whole at your destination. And when you reconcile with your own path, you discover something powerful. You don't need to compete to win. You only need to be faithful to your journey. If this lesson touched you, write in the comments, I choose to grow, not to compete. Because whoever keeps their focus on what truly matters finds peace, clarity, and the courage to continue, without haste, without getting lost. 3. Choose today the power to reinvent yourself. Anna Frank wrote, "What has been done cannot be undone, but we can prevent it from happening again." That sentence carries a hard yet liberating truth. We cannot change the past, but we can choose how to act from this moment forward. And that is precisely what Stoicism teaches us. Every morning, we have the opportunity to begin again. How many times have you gone to sleep with a heavy mind, worried about something you said, regretting a decision, replaying errors or failures? Anxiety and depression feed on this cycle, as if each morning were merely a continuation of yesterday, but it doesn't have to be this way. The river is the perfect metaphor. It encounters stones, obstacles, fallen logs, but it does not stop. It does not look back. It flows. Every day, it renews itself. And we can live the same way. Each sunrise, choose to move forward without dragging yesterday's burdens. Think of the argument you've been reliving in your head for weeks, the mistake from years ago that still weighs on your shoulders. None of that needs to occupy your present. The Stoics reminded us, the present is lived fully only when you are 100% here, not when 70% of you is trapped in what's already past and 30% is anxious about what hasn't arrived yet. Try this Stoic exercise. Upon waking, before checking your phone or diving into worries, close your eyes for 1 minute and tell yourself, today I begin anew. Today is a new opportunity to act better. It doesn't have to be grandiose, just a small gesture. Finish what you left incomplete yesterday. Treat someone with more patience. Care for yourself with greater attention. In a month, 30 opportunities for renewal. In a year, over 300 chances to restart. Imagine the power of living like this, seeing each day as a blank page. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Each morning, we are reborn. What you do today is what matters most. That is the key. It's not the weight of the past that defines your life. It's what you do right now." The truth is, many of us stay trapped in thoughts like, "I ruined everything. I can't escape this cycle." But every sunrise delivers proof that this isn't true. Life gives you a new opportunity, and the choice is yours. Carry the chains of yesterday, or walk lighter today. Reinventing yourself each morning isn't denying pain. It's transforming it into fuel for growth. It's looking in the mirror and asking, what can I do today that will make me feel proud when night falls? Courage isn't about never failing. It's about rising, renewing, and moving forward, day after day. 4. Care for yourself completely. Have you noticed how, when your mind is overloaded, your body feels it too? Insomnia becomes fatigue. Stress tightens the chest. Anxiety translates into back pain, a clenched stomach, shallow breathing. The reverse is also true. When the body is neglected, the mind becomes confused, drained, unclear. Juvenal, in the 1st century, summarized this in a phrase that has crossed centuries: a sound mind in a sound body. This wasn't just advice about physical health. It was a reminder that body and mind walk together. When the body is sick, the mind weakens. When the mind is lost, the body pays the price. The Stoics emphasize this idea clearly. Caring for the body and the mind is not a luxury, it is a strategy for survival. Because it's useless to train only your thoughts if your body is exhausted, and it's useless to have strong muscles if your mind is in ruins. It is in the balance between both that we find the strength to face difficult days with courage and clarity. Seneca reminded us that small gestures of care, a walk, a deep breath, a few minutes of silence, function as medicine for the soul. Because whoever denies rest to the body and nourishment to the mind will eventually feel broken inside. Set aside a moment each day to cultivate both simultaneously. It could be 10 minutes of stretching while listening to your breath. A short walk outdoors without your phone. Reading a page of a good book before bed. These simple actions cleanse the mind and recharge the body. And here's a powerful detail. When you move, your body releases serotonin and endorphins, hormones that bring immediate well-being. That's why often, the desire to exercise only appears after you start. This isn't about becoming an athlete, it's about starting small, here and now. If you can't go to the gym, do it at home. If you don't have much time, use 5 minutes. Hundreds of free practices are available: meditation, yoga, quick workouts, breathing exercises. What matters isn't where, it's that you begin. Seneca wrote, "Abandon all obstacles and dedicate your time to achieving a sound mind, for no man can attain it if he is occupied." He reminds us, it's not about finding time, it's about choosing priority. Caring for the body is caring for the mind. Caring for the mind is illuminating the path of the body. And when you unite both, you find a quiet strength capable of dissolving anxiety and clarifying your life. If this lesson touched you, make a commitment here. Leave in the comments, "Today, I choose to care for myself completely," because peace begins within, and every act of care is proof that you are already building that peace. 5. Expand your vision. How many times have you been trapped by something small, a criticism, a delay, a problem that seemed enormous? When your vision is narrow, any detail becomes giant. But a simple shift in perspective, and suddenly it loses its weight. Marcus Aurelius, even while ruling the greatest empire in the world, reminded himself in his meditations, "Before the immensity of the universe, even Rome seemed small." He understood that, against the sweep of human history and the vastness of the cosmos, even the power of an emperor is almost nothing. This thought liberates us, because when we widen our gaze, we see that many of our worries have repeated throughout the ages. Wars, crises, changes, all of it happened before, and life continued. In the same way, our pains and anxieties are not the end of the world. They are merely parts of a larger story. Even the Bible reminds us, generations come and go, but the earth remains forever. What feels unbearable today may, on the scale of time, be merely a breath. So, when you feel a problem is consuming you, perform the exercise of perspective. Imagine looking down at Earth from above, seeing cities, countries, billions of people living simultaneously. Now place your problem within that context. It still exists, but it no longer occupies the entire universe. That simple mental gesture brings humility, clarity, and peace. By adopting this broader view, we realize that many things we give too much value to, status, comparisons, quick wins, aren't so essential. And details we once ignored, a hug, a good conversation, a sunrise, reveal their true worth. Discovering a new perspective is rediscovering life. It's remembering that we are part of something greater, and that our decisions gain meaning when seen within that whole. When we change our angle of vision, not only does the size of our problems change, but the greatness of our life changes too. 6. Face adversity. How many times have you thought, "Why me?" When something goes wrong, it's natural to feel frustration, anger, even the urge to give up. But the Stoics saw it differently. Difficulties are not punishments, they are invitations. Invitations to show what you're made of. Seneca wrote, "No one feels more miserable than the one who has never faced difficulties, because whoever has never been tested has never discovered their true strength." Epictetus was even more direct. Difficulties reveal a person's character. When you face a challenge, remember, God is not punishing you. He is giving you a training partner. Like a physical trainer would, he is preparing you for greatness. Becoming an Olympic athlete requires sweat. Every obstacle is like a training session, hard, tiring, but designed to strengthen you. Of course, it would be easier if life followed exactly how we dreamed. But if you only have a pink road, the first stumble will break you. It's on the ground of difficulty that resilience is born. It's in pain that character is formed. Next time something doesn't go as you wanted, don't ask, "Why me?" Ask instead, "What is this situation training me to develop?" Patience, courage, discipline, humility. Identify the virtue hidden in the obstacle and choose to practice it. Character is not born in calm, but in friction. Like iron in the forge, the fire burns, but it gives shape and resistance. In the same way, today's difficulties are the fire forging tomorrow's strength. When you face adversity as an opportunity, you don't just survive it, you transform through it. It's in falling that you learn to rise firmer. It's in loss that you discover what truly matters. It's in pain that you find sensitivity to understand others' suffering. The scars you carry are not signs of weakness. They are maps telling the story of your overcoming. So don't fear the friction of the path. See in it the opportunity to build yourself into someone stronger, wiser, and more conscious of yourself. Life doesn't test you to destroy you, it polishes you. When you understand this, every adversity ceases to be a burden and becomes raw material for your transformation. 7. Everything flows, nothing stays. When anxiety tightens or sadness seems without exit, the mind deceives. It whispers, "It will always be like this. The pain won't pass." This is one of the greatest poisons for the soul, believing in the permanence of suffering. The Stoics remind us of a simple, liberating truth. Everything is impermanent. Heraclitus said, "Everything flows, nothing remains." And this thought is an antidote to despair. Think of a storm. At its peak, it seems endless. Strong winds, thunder, rain that gives no respite. But no storm lasts forever. Suddenly the clouds part, and the sky clears again. So too are our pains, intense while they last, but transient in essence. Today, practice this Stoic exercise. Write down 3 challenging moments you've already overcome. Ask yourself, how did I feel back then? How do I feel now, remembering it? You'll realize everything passed. The wounds healed. Despite the weight of the moment, you kept going. Marcus Aurelius recorded in his Meditations, "Present pain is not unbearable if you see it in its reality, and don't amplify it with imagination. And if you cannot endure it for long, remember, it will end." If we know everything passes, why give difficult moments the power to crush us? No winter lasts forever, and if even trees bloom again after the cold, you too will find your spring. Carry with you this simple, powerful phrase, "This too shall pass." It's like a silent anchor, reminding you that life moves, that no state is eternal, and that even the darkest night is followed by morning. Allow yourself to trust this flow, because when you internalize impermanence, you don't just find strength to endure storms, you find hope to wait for the sun that will come. Pains pass, fears pass, even joys pass. But in every step, you renew, learn, and grow stronger. If this lesson spoke to you, write in the comments, "This too shall pass." Because every time someone reads those words, they remember they are not alone. And that remembrance ignites the certainty that even the strongest storms always give way to the sun. 8. Don't fight against life. Learn to flow. It's not the event itself that destroys us, but our resistance to it. When we fight against reality, we lose twice. We suffer for what happened, and we suffer for the internal struggle against what cannot be changed. The Stoics were clear on this. They said, "If this is the will of nature, then so be it." Today, many repeat, "Thy will be done." It doesn't matter what name we give it, God, destiny, nature. The essential is understanding. You do not control everything. Zeno of Citium, founder of Stoicism, used a powerful metaphor. We are like dogs tied to a cart. The dog has some freedom, but when the cart moves, it has only 2 options: resist and get hurt, or follow the motion and walk in peace. That's exactly what we do with life. The more we resist, the more pain we feel. The more we accept, the more serenity we gain. Seneca said, "Destiny guides those who accept and drags those who resist." To resist is to be dragged. To accept is to learn to use the rope to walk with greater lightness. When something unexpected happens, pause and ask, "Is this under my control or outside it?" If it's under your control, act with clarity. If it's not, accept it. and direct your energy toward what can be transformed. Epictetus summed it up. Don't seek for events to happen as you wish. Wish for them to happen as they do, and your life will be tranquil. Acceptance is not resignation. It's liberation. It's stopping the fight against what is beyond your power to invest your strength where change is possible. And when you learn to accept the unexpected, you discover something powerful. Life doesn't need to bend to your will to be good. It can be lived in peace, exactly as it is. If this lesson resonated with you, write in the comments. Today I choose to flow with life, because when you choose to flow instead of resist, you discover that even the unforeseen can become part of your path, and peace is not in controlling everything, but in walking lightly through what already is. 9. Don't ignore sadness. We live in a time where everyone seems to smile on social media, as if life were perfect all the time. And when you feel sadness, frustration, or anger, your mind immediately whispers, "There's something wrong with me." But the truth is, there's nothing wrong. What hurts you isn't feeling sadness. It's pretending it doesn't exist. Every time you hide an emotion under the carpet, it doesn't disappear. It returns stronger, like water held behind a dam that finally breaks. Stoicism doesn't teach you to deny feelings. It teaches you to manage them intelligently, recognize them, understand them, transform them. Seneca wrote, "No one is so fragile as the one who never allows themselves to be touched by pain." That doesn't mean drowning in suffering. It means let yourself feel. Let yourself be human. Your emotions are not enemies. They are messengers. To ignore them is to betray yourself. To acknowledge them is to begin healing. So next time sadness comes, don't run. Sit with it. Listen to it. Ask, "What are you trying to tell me?" Only then can you release it, not by force, but by understanding. You are not broken because you feel. You are becoming because you dare to feel.